So when you're ready, find your space. We're going to do a cool little warm-up this morning. It's going to cover off our need to raise our heart rate, to activate muscles and to mobilize muscles all at the same time. So it's not going to take us really very long to get through our warm-up this morning. Okay, so there's going to be a slightly shorter workout, probably just by like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes or so, shorter than a 40-minute class. So what we're going to do in the warm-up this morning, once I've started my timer, is you're going to assume a squat position, and we're going to drop to the bottom of your squat. Then we're going to walk out to a press-up position. We're going to get one press-up. After the press-up, you're going to bring one foot up to near the hand, and we're going to drop the elbow and do a rotation. We'll do the same on the other side, but we're going to walk back through an inch room. So we're going to walk back the hands, keeping the legs straight until I need to bend them, okay? I'll talk you through it as we go, but you might not be able to see me do it at that point. So, feet in the squat position. We drop to wherever the bottom of your squat is, comfortably. Hands down on the floor. Walk out to the top of the press-up. Hit one press-up, then step one foot up towards a hand, keeping the back leg out straight. Take the same elbow, point it down at the ankle, then past the knee, then up at the ceiling, and then turn and open. So we've got a big torso rotation. Then bring the hand back down to the floor, skip that foot back, and bring the other one up. Again, making sure that back leg is straight. The foot doesn't need to be right next to the hand, but it needs to be somewhere close. Point the same elbow at the ankle, then at the knee, then at the ceiling, turn and open. Hand back down, back to the top of the press-up. Now walking backwards here, we're going to go almost into a downward dog, okay? And then slowly walk the hands back, keeping the legs as straight as you can. Bend them when you need to, but you want the hands all the way back at the feet, and then we're going to roll to stand. Good, we're going to go again. We're going to do 5 of those, so 4 more. At your own speed, drop down through your squat once you're at the bottom, walk your hands out, and split everything up, okay? So stop at the top of the press-up, hit one press-up, step the foot up, spend a second there with that back leg straight, then point the elbow at the ankle, past the knee, up to the ceiling, big torso rotation, hand high, and down, and switch sides. Same on this side. Try and almost get that elbow to the floor if you can at the start. Once you've done that, keeping the legs as straight as possible, hips to the ceiling, walk the hands back, feel that load and stretch in the hamstrings, and roll the standing. 3 more. Then half a second at the bottom of your squat, half a second at the top of the press-up, half a second with that long lunge position, half a second at the top of the rotation, same on the other side. You can definitely feel my heart rate starting to rise, my shoulders are definitely warming up, my hips are getting it. 2 more. Nice. Good. Keep working through that nice and slowly and methodically. Walking your hands back. And then we got 1 to go. I'll do this last one side on so you can see. Drop it down through my squat, keeping my body shape nice and neat. Hands to the floor. Walk out to the top of that press up. 1 press up. So I'm stepping into that long lunge. Put your foot flat to the floor, however far forward you can get it. Elbow towards the ankle of the floor. Turn and rotate into that front leg, keeping the back leg straight. Step it back. Change sides. Good, and then as we walk back, we start with that little bit of a downward dog, pushing the floor away, keeping the legs as straight as possible, and then slowly roll out. Oh, that's it, guys. We're done. I'll see you next week. Just kidding. Just kidding. So we're going to use a similar pattern to what we used on Monday, okay? We're going to do 3 specific movements. We're going to do them as a bit of a strength workout first. So if you want to use a heavier kettlebell or dumbbell, if you've got one to hand, you can. If you're stuck on one dumbbell or kettlebell, that's fine. You'll use that throughout, obviously. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to get 5 reps on each side in each of the movements. And today we're starting with the first exercise we're going to do is a variation of a swing, and it's a bit more of an upright row, so it's going to be a bit more shoulder dominant. It's very much what we were trying to do as part of a clean, okay, but we're not going to flip the kettlebell over today. So you'll start with the kettlebell out in front as we normally do, because that allows us to drop the knees, kick the hips back, get into a long position. I'm going to pull it in, and as I push the hips through, rather than letting the kettlebell drift away from me, I'm going to punch and pull my elbow up, so that kettlebell stays in really close. So it's very much an upright row, and you're going to ask a lot of the shoulder today, okay? So I'll show you what it looks like. I start here, I pull it in, but then I pull my elbow, almost pulling my hand to the shoulder. I'm still getting the swing element. I'll get my 5, drop it to the floor, switch it over. I still might get a little bit of a torso turn, but as I kick out, I'm pulling that hand up to my shoulder simultaneously to get the power from the hips, but also to load the upper body, okay? All right, 5 on each side. We're going to start in about 20 seconds from now. So don't let the weight dictate your body position. Start nice and slow in terms of perhaps how high you pull it to begin with. 3, 2, 1. I'm in a good set position, pull it in and pulling it high, so it's staying nice and close to the body and getting tall off the back of the swing. Once I've done my 5, hand down, change over. Nice, once I've done 5 aside, I'm going to rest. Beautiful. So it's a different rhythm to try and get into, okay? Because that's not the end of the swing where the arm becomes passive. So we're keeping more tension through the body here, okay? One down, 3 to go. 10 seconds. So think about your start position. Good solid base. Drop the knee and the hip. Get into position, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I draw it in. I pull high. Definitely not rushing through the swing element. Okay? I draw it in. Don't let it drift away. Punch the elbow to the ceiling. And remember, you've got to get back into the swing. So don't just let the weight passively drop out, because it will send you forward. Once you've finished here, you've got to think about how you almost let it drift away from the body after the pull to be able to get back into the swing. 2 sets down, 2 to go. It's definitely warming my traps and my shoulders up, which is exactly what I want. Okay, you want a bit of shoulder fatigue. Okay, into position, here we go. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Remembering that I want that hip hinge. Good. Draw it in. Punch that elbow up to the ceiling. Push the kettlebell away so I can get back into a swing. All the time remembering, be patient with when you hinge so that we don't load the lower back. Really allow the hips to drift backwards so we get the tension in the hamstrings. If we can create tension in the lower body, our lower back doesn't do as much work. 1 more set to go. 15 seconds away. Getting ready. I'm in a good position. Drop through the knees, extend through the hips to reach out. 3, 2, 1, and go. Allowing the swing to do its thing. One more time. Big high pull. And then rest. Awesome. Okie dokie. First exercise down. Remember it because it's going to be part of our flow. Okay, exercise number 2. Got a little bit longer to rest. It's about to get very leg heavy, I'm afraid. Offset squat, 5 on each side. Okay, so the offset is the fact that we're offsetting the load because we've got it on one side. So you'll do 1 clean to bring it up. Make sure your feet are a bit wider than your normal swing position for your squat. Make sure that your toes and knees travel in the same direction. And we do 5 squats with the load on one side, making sure my knees follow my toes, my feet stay flat to the floor. Bring it down, change sides, 5 squats on the other side. Remember, the depth of your squat is going to be controlled or dictated by not losing body shape. Okay, we've got this under 30 seconds to go. $15 seconds. So my start's going to be exactly the same as it would be for a normal swing. Okay, just under 10 seconds. So I'm going to think about getting my setup right now. 3, 2, 1. I reach out, I clean it, and then from here I get 1, 2, 3. Using my other arm to balance if I need to. You're not going to keep things completely level. I swing it over and change sides. Beautiful, and then control it down and back out. Awesome. Good work. 1 set done. We're only going to do 3 sets of this, and you'll understand why when I show you the last exercise. 10 seconds. So remember, the depth of your squat is dictated by your strength and mobility, okay? Your ability to hit positions. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I swing it up, get balanced. And the depth of that squat is dictated by how well I can control my pelvis and not let my chest drop. And then I just swing it around rather than returning to the floor. Saves me a few seconds. Keep your feet flat to the floor. Don't let your toes come off the floor. Don't let your heels come off the floor. Once I'm done, through a little swing transition back down to the deck. Also, 1 more set. Heart rate's definitely rising now. Breathing rate's changing. And that's all okay. We got 1 more set, which we'll start in 5 seconds. Let's come on fast. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Swing to the catch. Get my 5. Change sides. All the time thinking about trying to stay balanced. What's happening on the core, through the trunk, and then we rest. Good stuff. All right. Now the reason we only did 3 sets, not 4, is because we've got a squat variation happening again, except we're going to do a thruster. Okay, so a thruster is a squat straight into a press. Don't separate the two, we flow through. Okay? We've got another minute of rest before we go, so we're okay. All right, how this works, I swing the weight up to one side, I get one squat straight into a press, and I bring it down and go, down and go. If you need to, separate and control that weight back in before you hit the next squat. That's completely fine. But the challenge is to try and have them flow as one full rep rather than a squat then press. And then a press then squat. We want the entire movement to be like a wave rather than steps. Okay? So now that our legs and our shoulders are nice and warm, we're going to challenge both at the same time. Ooh, 10 seconds. Alrighty, here it comes. 5, 4, we need 5 reps on each side. 3, good luck. 2, 1, here we go. So I get my first swing and I catch, squat, press. Bring it down as I drop into the next squat. Nice, bring it down. You can change it straight over. Trying to make sure that we're not pushing the weight too far out to the side. Straight up overhead. Make sure we're locking out at the top of each rep and down to the floor. We're going every 90 seconds on these because they're a bigger movement, they take a bit longer. The first two are a bit shorter. And we're starting to breathe a bit heavier, so we're just extending the rest time here. 35 seconds before we go again. So this is about a little bit of power coming out of the squat, but it needs to be controlled. Okay? Show you the set side on. We go in 20 seconds or just a little more like 15 now, 15 seconds. We're going in 5. So I get myself set, drop the knee and hip. 3, 2, 1, draw it in, catch it, and then squat and press. Making sure that my hand is stacked over my shoulder at the top. And then I'm going to change sides for the last 5. Not the last 5, but to finish the set. And rest there. Good stuff. Doing a good job. Catch your breath, we've got one more set to go. In 30 seconds time. Control your breathing. We've got 10 seconds. Here we go on that last set. Get myself in position. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Kick it up through a clean. Straight in. Making it as fluid as I can. Remember that if you need to control and then hit the next rep, that's fine. If you can make them flow, awesome. Quick on the changeover. Thinking about that, where you want the hand and shoulder to be. Finishing at the top, extended legs, arm overhead. And that's our thrusters done. Whew. All right, 2-minute break, guys. And now We're going to put them all together. Three of each, whew, on each side. Then we rest. So that's going to look like 3 high pulls. After you finish the third one, we come back down, you swing into a clean. From there, you get 3 squats. Once you finish the 3 squats, 3 thrusters. Then we bring the weight down and out, then change over. Really important we bring it down and out so we can reset the swing and do the same on the other side. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. So we're aiming for 3, okay? If in the work period, because we're doing this on the rolling clock, if in the work period after the first 1 or 2 sets, you feel like 3 is too much, based on the load that you're using, if you only got the 1 available, then please feel free to drop down, okay? Either drop down, if you only got 1 weight available, drop down a rep, so just do 2 of each in that work to rest period, because we'll start the work at the same time. 35 seconds. So quality of movement, guys, okay? We've just ingrained those 3 movements. Now let's maintain the quality of the movement under a little bit of duress. "15 seconds. Okay, make sure your hands are nice and dry, towel them off if you can. All right. 5, 4, 3, we're going to start with those upright row swings. 2, 1, let's go. So we pull it in. 1, 2, 3, and then I catch the next one up high and get 3 squats. 1, 2, 3. Then in my next squat, I'm going to add in the thruster. And once I'm finished, I'm going to bring it down, pop it out and reset in front. 1, 2 swings, 3 upright row swings. Then on the next one, I catch and get 1 squat, 2 squats, 3 squats. Then my thruster, 1. Controlling where that kettlebell is going, bringing my hand back to my shoulder and rest. Good stuff. So we're going every 2 minutes, okay? So means I've got, from now, I've got a full minute recovery. So no need to rush. Just accumulated volume with roughly a 1-to-1 work to rest time. "35 seconds. Four rounds to go. "20 seconds. So remember, guys, posture is key, okay? As we tire, everything's going to want to collapse to each of the movements, especially dropping our chest. Don't allow that to happen, all right? 10 seconds. Good, strong posture, good connection with the ground. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. 3 swings. Pulling the hand to the shoulder. So I've done 3. I'm going to catch it. Ready for my squats. Good. And then my 3 thrusters. Bringing the hand back to the shoulder. Under control. Down to the floor. And then we change sides. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 squats. And then on my next squat, I press it overhead. And I control that movement. Keeping the core nice and tight. Catch with soft legs. Down to a swing and back to the floor. Outstanding. Remember to control what's going on. Good. Control your breathing through the rest time. Okay? Good. Being sensible with how you bring that kettlebell back to the floor is really important. About 35 seconds before round number 3. So remember, there's a quality versus intensity pattern here. And if you need to, after the 3 swings, put the kettlebell back on the floor to dry your hand off before transitioning up to the squat. That's also completely fine. You've got the time to be able to do that, okay? Round 3 coming in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away we go. And pull it in. 1, 2, and 3. Trying to link them together. There's number 3. And then my thrusters. So I'm using my leg power to drive overhead, but I need that control in the shoulder. Soft knees on the catch. Lower down. Change it over. 3 swings. Thinking about how I control my posture and not let a heavy kettlebell dictate those positions. Thinking about what's coming next. I'm just going to reset before I do my thrusters to make sure my front rack position is where I want it to be. Finish my 3, catch with soft legs, down and out. Apologies for the heavy breathing. Good stuff, guys. 2 rounds to go. 45 seconds away. In the rest time, trying to draw a nasal breath. Filling down low. Pulling my thing about my diaphragm, pulling down to allow my ribs and belly to expand, and then exhale through the pursed lip. That's really going to help to settle your heart rate very, very quickly, or much quicker. 20 seconds away from round number 4. Good little wipe off, no towel this morning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Into position for my swings. I've got my 3 there. I'm going to catch, get my squats, making sure I'm standing all the way tall, squeezing through the quads at the top. Then I've got 3 thrusters. Thinking about a good active catch and not letting the weight pull you out of position. Return it to the floor, get ready for my swings on the other side. Catch, set on my feet. 1, 2, 3 squats. Make sure I'm happy with my front rack because I'm going to add the press in. Making sure that when I catch, I got good soft legs, down and up. Beautiful. We have 1 more round to go. $40 seconds to go before our final round. So just maintain the quality. Remember, if your hands are getting sweaty on that kettlebell or dumbbell and you're starting to struggle with the grip and you're worried about rep 4 in terms of turning it over, catching it up, just put it on the floor, give your hands a quick wipe, and then move. And let's think about what we need to do to maintain good body position throughout. 15 seconds away from round number 5. Okay. Less than 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Full range in my swing. Full range on my squat within reason, making sure you can control your body positions. And then a full squat into that thruster. Not letting the weight crush and drop onto me through my thrusters. Last set. Thinking about having your feet in the right position, and then thinking about having your hand in the right position for the thruster. Catch, down, and set it out. Nice work, guys. Finishing strong, controlling it to the floor. And that's us done. Great work. All right, kick your kettlebell down out of the way. I'm gonna have a quick cool down in just a second. Just remember, guys, this concept of doing some strength work at the start with separating the repetitions and perhaps, you know, using a heavier load to challenge those things because of the amount of rest they're having is great for building some muscle mass and some strength. And then when we start linking things together, either less repetitions because you'll do more in total, if that makes sense. Obviously we did 9 reps on each side before we changed over there, but it was less repetitions than we did in the strength work. You can either use a slightly lighter kettlebell to do that, or dumbbell to do that, if you've got the ability to change the loads, okay? Because we want that to be a bit more about raising our heart rate and having to stop and catch our breath in between each element because the load is heavy, okay? So it could be that that would only have been, if it was quite a heavy kettlebell for you, good for the strength work. It might be that you were just doing 1 swing, 1 squat, 1 thruster on each side to be able to do them continuously and not have to break in between. All right, but you can use this format with loads of different exercises, and actually doing some heavier strength type training is really important for maintaining muscle mass, for our bone health, for our hormonal health. Okay, it's super, super important. Important is something that we don't neglect for just doing things that are hard and doing high intensity stuff all the time, where we're just revving that needle right up into the red zone all the time. All right, good stuff. Okay, down into a press-up position. From that press-up position, let's just come up into a down dog. Okay, hips high to the ceiling, pushing the floor away. Slight bend of the knees if you need to, and then think about pressing one heel down to the floor at a time, putting some length into the calf and the hamstring. Good, and then nice and slowly roll back through into that long plank position and drop our knees down underneath our hips. Stay in a nice flat back position. From that flat back position, what I want you to do is think about, without moving anything else, how you tuck your pelvis. Okay, so we don't want to push through the upper back. We actually want to keep our shoulder blades nicely set, and just think about how I tuck the pelvis, and then rocking back towards my heels. Come back up with that tuck still in the pelvis, and then return to normal. Go again. Tuck the pelvis, so thinking about tipping the pelvis backwards or underneath the body, and then keeping that tuck on and sitting the weight back so you can feel a bit of an opening through the lower back. I certainly can at the moment. Come back up and reset. So you notice the only thing that's moving is my pelvis and lower back, okay? I don't want lots of global movement through the spine. One more time. Tuck. Sit back, allow the lower back to open. Come back up and relax. And we're just going to finish with a child's pose where we take the knees out really wide, bring the toes together, sit the weight back through the heels, and slide the hands down and out in front, keeping the weight back through the hips,
And what I want you to do down in this position, both hands are around about shoulder width apart here, okay? And pointing towards 12 o'clock. I want you to walk those hands around to about 10 o'clock if you can, both of them together. And if you can, put the right hand on top of the left. And you're going to feel a stretch come down the right hand side of the body now. And that might be up through your lats, it might be down to the outside of your lower back. There's no right or wrong, depends where you're tightest. Slowly walk the hands back to the center. All the time, guys, you're keeping your hips pushed back in towards your heels. And then we're going to walk around to maybe 1 o'clock or even 2 o'clock if we can. And also place the left hand on top of the right. You want to keep your head down between your arms if you can, all right? You don't want it sitting up here. Head down. Feeling that stretch up the left hand side of the body. And then nice and slowly come back to the center. Walk yourself out of that child's pose.
And that's Thursday morning complete.